stop the dam. Boy, look at this old car wash right here. Let's go in there and get washed up. Holy smoke. Over here on the left-hand corner, this used to be the big Chevrolet dealership. Outside of Denoyers in Kalamazoo, this was it right here. And they merged or joined forces with another outfit and moved to Schoolcraft. Brand new facility. This is now a rental facility. Weddings and so forth. Yep. Across the tracks again. My little cousin used to say, she was a gal, she says you had to hold your feet up in the air off the floorboard of the car when you go over the railroad tracks, or you lose your boyfriend or your girlfriend. Yeah, that's back in the 60s. Okay, here we're down in Lower Clark Park, and there's a little overflow here. You see the scum on the water. Yeah, that's funky Claude, right? Smoke on the water. That's funky water right there. But at least it's someplace where they can control it. Over here, flows under the road. No trespassing, no dumping by order of the Drain Commissioner. Now, they don't want you in here. They don't want you in here. Okay, I think it goes down here and flows over and then down the river. The dam's behind us. This is all Clark Park, separated by many little flows. Goes down below here and above here. And this historic site. This is a mill wheel. On this site stood Vicksburg's first mill, known as Briggs Mill, erected in 1850, burned and rebuilt in 1853, destroyed by fire again in 1885. This marker placed by Vicksburg Community Council, May 31st, 1920. 1920. Take a little walk down here. I believe this is a lifting station of some sort, making sure that the flow remains active or controlled. It is you have a generator there in the blue box in case power goes out. The generator will start up. These are overflow pipes that I believe water will come blowing right out of those, if I'm not mistaken. And I might be mistaken about that, but how that goes. And right here's the gas service. There's the meter plumbed into the generator. Yep. Down here's a stanky little flow. Man, that's nasty down there. Let's see what's down here, over here. Here's some more of those freaky vines taking over that tree. Haven't seen them in a while, have we? Well, this is very cool. They took a uprooted tree and carved it into a little bench. And they have a nice picnic table back here. And this is very nice. I've never been down here. This is Daydream Falls. Daydream Falls, Vicksburg, Michigan. There's the little dam. We'll look at that closer. This is really cool. It's in the shade. I'm coming back here. I think you could certainly unload somebody up here with their kayak and then go park and come on down here and slide in. I don't know if that's permissible, but I see the water looks clean. It's just, you know, has some foam on it and so forth. Of course, you wouldn't drink it. You run it through a little purifier. Some ducks down there. So, $3.4 million. 175 years old. And of course it is, because we just read about the age of the mill, 1850. And I think they went to the same math classes that I did. Yeah, 3.5 million. This is all going to be carved out of here. This will be dug right down. They'll have to put a little coffer side chute in here to allow the water to pass through, bypass it while they're doing this, and then set in the new forms, the footings, the forms, the whole thing. Pour the whole darn 9 yards out of cement, that good Portland cement, and they come in 90-pound sacks, not them lousy 70s. Yep, they're going to get this taken care of. At 3.4 million, I could wonder why it wouldn't be more than that. It's a lot of work right here. By the way, it smells very fresh, just like around a fresh waterfall. The air's fresh in the cool of the shade. Yep. No wonder old General Thomas Jonathan Jackson on his deathbed, his last words were, "Let him cross over the river and rest in the shade of the trees." I can understand that. I can understand that. But before he said those famous words and then passed away, he called for A.P. Hill to bring up his car, and he called for his saber. Then he fell into delirium, and then he uttered those famous last words. Fact. Studied a little bit about Jackson. Be right back. Can't mention Vicksburg without bringing up the Civil War, either north or south. Of course, Vicksburg, Mississippi, back in the day, that was quite a siege. That was quite a siege. I visited there. I toured the park. I visited the SS Cairo, the famous gunship that was sunk there in the Mississippi, and it was raised and put on display there at the Battlefield Park, Vicksburg, Mississippi. But it's interesting. Got some geese over here with their gooslings. They're fully fledged now. But yes, the war wasn't going very good for President Abraham Lincoln, and there was a lot of bad things happening. The Union, well, them bluebellies was getting their butts whipped, and they were the Army of Northern Aggression, the South called them. Well, come that late in the afternoon and into the evening of the 3rd of July of 1863, and the telegraphs became hot into Washington, D.C., that the Battle of Gettysburg had been won. Lee was on the retreat in a driving thunderstorm. And as he left that battlefield of Gettysburg, there were men that they had deserted and captured their own army, and Lee had them hung on the old covered bridge the way south there out of Gettysburg. The next morning, when the Union troops kind of fouled through there, they found all those men hanging. He'd executed his little gooslings, getting little guys, I call them gooslings, he's getting chased off. But yeah, so President Lincoln gets some good news, and it was just the 4th of July. That was on the 4th of July. He got some more good news. Not only did Lee get driven out of Pennsylvania, but Grant took Vicksburg. And so it went for decades, a couple generations, before anyone in Vicksburg, Mississippi would celebrate the 4th of July. I understand they do today, but there's still what they call grand elements there that have nothing to do with it. But Abraham Lincoln got we'll call it 2 back-to-back almost phone calls. We ran Lee out of Pennsylvania and Grant took Vicksburg. That was the turning point, historians feel, of the battle between the states. Same as the Battle of Midway was the turning point in the Battle of the Pacific, World War II. Beautiful lake here, little sunset, the upper part. And we'll leave the geese here and their goslings alone. Another week. This little one over here is the late bloomer. But the mama's right there. There's the rest of them. He might have been a runt. I don't know. Join the club. See you in the next one. Have a great and safe day out there. Thank you for subscribing, and appreciate it if you would hit that notification bell and give me that thumbs up. I sure appreciate it. Have a great and safe day. This old growth sure has many great and safe days there. That's well over 100-year-old tree.